Richard, on behalf of the Prince Albert and District Chamber of Commerce and Business Community, congratulations on being the 2020 Roger Phillips Chamber Builder Award recipient. We are so proud to say that you are part of our community.
I knew Roger Phillips back when he was quite active in the chamber, and there wasn't a person that I could imagine that would be as dedicated of an individual to the cause of chamber and had the passion for our province and our country than Roger Phillips. And the man spoke and everybody just listened, and to be thought of in that vein, Richard, is just a tremendous it's a tremendous honor to you and a testament to your commitment to the betterment of Chamber of Commerce. And certainly I'm really proud of you and what you've been able to do for both the community in Prince Albert, plus also for the province in your capacities as Chamber Chair and past Chair.
Rick's always been a great friend. I've always thought of him as a brother, and I remember when the discussions came around about coming into the chamber, we had a good talk about it, and I felt he'd be a great representative for Prince Albert.
We're so proud that out of Saskatchewan came the first Aboriginal president of a Chamber of Commerce network in the country. So our little boy Richard made Canadian history, and we were so proud that we were able to say that out of Saskatchewan was the first Aboriginal president in the Chamber land. So darn proud of that.
Too, Richard as the president of the chamber, you know, that's hats off, great job and everything else. One of the things that I find really unique is the fact that he was able to keep Steve McCullen in line. You know, it just blows me away that
that's true.
That he kept him in line and that type
of thing. Community,
that's right. I think he had him tied up there pretty good for a while.
Absolutely.
So it kept Steve probably out of trouble, much the same as he kept me out of trouble over the years.
Yeah.
It's funny how that goes, how it runs downhill, right? So here's Ralph. And Richard, I don't think I ever told you the story, but Ralph says, met me at Esso in Saskatoon for supper, and he says, hey Dave, you're on the board, I'd like to get you thinking about running for president. I said, well, great, Ralph, that sounds good. When? He says, next year. And I said, next year, like right after you. And he says, yeah. He says, I said, yeah, I guess if the team needs me to do that, I can do that. And he says, oh, and by the way, our current president is leaving, and you're going to have to hire a new president. So when you mentioned that, Lawrence, I had to hire him, Steve, and poor Richard had to look after him. So it was a real team approach coming from the north here.
It's always a pleasure to talk about Richard Ahenakew, and it's a particular pleasure when he's being recognized by his peers in the Chamber Network of Saskatchewan for being the Roger Phillips Chamber Builder Award recipient for 2020. Now, if you know Richard, you know he's a stellar guy. He's a class act all the time. And wherever we've traveled together, he knows people, and people know him, and he is treated with great respect. His work career, his professional life, of course, and his home life have been just examples of first class, and I applaud you for that. But from a chamber perspective, and watching you over the last almost 15 years, you are also a class act, and we owe you a great debt of gratitude. Not only for the recognition of being the first Indigenous person to be the chair of a Chamber of Commerce, a provincial chamber in Canada, but also, forget about that, just the leadership that you showed and the kind of work that you did while you were with us on our board, and of course with the Canadian Chamber Board, is outstanding. So there is nobody that I think is more deserving of this award in our 100th anniversary. You are the mark of the next century of this province, a solid, intellectual, family man who leads his company well, and I applaud your efforts. And I also want to say, on behalf of everybody in the Chamber Network, thanks for all the great work that you've done and all the good work that you'll continue to. My very best, Richard.
You don't know how proud I am to be here. And I'm so proud to say that you're from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. This award doesn't surprise me. You know, you've got lots of firsts for our community, so I want to congratulate you. You were the first First Nations chair of the Saskatchewan Chamber of Commerce. That was a big event that we celebrated. And then you helped me out by accepting to be the first Aboriginal and civilian chair of the Prince Albert Police Commission. So when I was told that you got the Roger Phillips Award, that didn't surprise me. You're dedicated to our community, you're proud. And that's why I like you. You're one of the best ambassadors we have in the city, because you're proud. You don't talk negative about our city, it's all positive. So Richard, just congratulations. I remember when you were cleaning floors at the casino, and today you're the general manager. You know, so that just shows me the drive and the will that you have. So on behalf of my colleagues and the residents of Prince Albert, I just want to congratulate you and keep going.
Well, Richard and I go back a long way. Probably, you know, in our younger years, but more professionally in the business world. I worked with Northern Lights Casino right from the very beginning. I think Richard at that time was even a custodial employee and cleanup, and he moved on over the years to now become the manager. And so I worked with Northern Lights Casino supplying clothing, and Richard and I in the latter years worked together on preparing and getting things ready for the uniforms for the casino. So, and before that, when Richard was involved in the Saskatchewan Chamber of Commerce as the president or the chair, we had some good meetings and some good success with him in that capacity as well. So Richard has been a very big fan of ours. Both his parents and our parents are close, and you know, when my dad passed away, Richard was there for me, and as he was when we were recognized for other awards, Richard was always there. When we won the ABEX award, he was one of the presenters on video, and I really respect that and appreciated that. So Richard and I go back a long ways, and I really admire and respect his work and effort in the community. He is definitely a pillar of our business community and just our regular community. So congratulations, Richard, and we are very proud of you. We are also looking forward to working with you in the future.
Yeah, so like you said, Richard has taught disco dancing in his previous life, and the odd time we get to see that at work from time to time. Not quite the disco moves he probably used to have, but there was also one time, this is back in the day, security was looking at this vehicle parked in the parking lot. It was parked in a strange spot, so they decided, well, nobody's answering the page to come and get the vehicle, so we'll have it towed out of the way, so it's not in the way. So they got the tow truck there, had the van at the time. It was up on the tow truck ready to drive away, and all of a sudden Richard comes out and it was his vehicle. Nobody knew it was his. They were gonna tow it away. So I got it off the tow truck, and there was no cost to that, but it's not too often you get to tow the boss's vehicle, so.
Story going around that back in the day, before the casino opened, Richard was a dance instructor, and he taught disco here in the city of Prince Albert. I think the best way to sum up Richard's dance moves is, if you're familiar with Caddyshack and the Gopher, that's Richard's dance moves right there. No John Travolta, but he's much more cuddlier.
Thank you, Sir Richard, for being the best boss that I ever have. You are without a doubt an unparalleled boss, and I thank you for your support. Saying thank you is not enough for me to express how grateful I am for your utmost support over the years. To work at the Northern Lights Casino was one of the best decisions I made in my life. I started there as a server, then as a sous chef, and now as an executive chef. Everything I am today is all because of you. It has been an amazing journey to work under a boss who is also a friend. You motivate your employees, you make tough decisions, you support your colleagues. You are a true inspiration to all of us at NLC. Even though you are the big boss, you never considered it beneath you to get your hands dirty while helping in the restaurant, pass out tables during peak hours, or helping on the gaming floor, sweeping, mopping, or sanitizing the machines. Working under a boss like you really helps elevate the whole work experience at NLC. Your motivation and kindness are a few traits that make you a great leader that you are today. Congratulations, sir. We are all so proud of you.
So Richard has overseen many changes within the community as well as through our own workplace at the casino. Change is always good in any organization, in any field. You need change to thrive. And Richard has proven to be more than adaptable to change, and as well as give that direction to assist. He leads by example. He'll think nothing of taking a bus and bussing tables in our restaurant. We had to restructure our organization, of course, due to the pandemic. And there's been times where Richard has needed to go down to the live table games and deal cards, and I don't think he had a player. I think everyone's seen the boss standing there, so they didn't want to go over there, but he's more than willing to do that.
There's a lot of memories to go over the last 23 years to kind of sum one up. I'd have to just say it's the guidance that Richard's always there to provide. He always has time. If you have a question, even if he's super busy, he'll take 5 minutes out of his time, put everything aside just to give you his divided attention, and then answer your question, help you out as best as he can. And you know, you always feel that sense of importance. You know, the boss is coming in and you're having an issue, and he takes the time to look at you and say, okay, let's work through it. You get through it, and you move on. He's not rushing you out of his office or doesn't make time for you. He makes time for everybody. So.
Congratulations, and I am so sincerely proud of you for all of your commitment and the leadership that you have provided for all of the projects, committees, and things that you have brought to Prince Albert. One of the other things that I wanted to say was, I'm not sure if you're aware of the impact that your leadership has had on the people around you. You are so good at giving us information. You are so good with sharing. And I think more people pick up on the things that you leave us than you'll ever know. Because if I didn't start hearing you in everything that you've shared with our teams over the years, I never would have had the courage to step forward to push myself to grow as a leader and as a person. Thank you.
3 years of when I hired Steve in 07, by 10, Steve was humming. He had the provincial committee going, and he was so proud to work with Richard to say, let's really make this a national strategy, and they did. It was a really good pairing between Richard and Steve. It's a good point.
I think equally it was extremely important that the Aboriginal community have representation, and you know, and from a business perspective, in which Richard filled the dots quite capably, and certainly brought more people involved over time to get interested in the chamber. So you know, the award that he's getting is centered around building as well, and I can honestly see over the time, and I'm sure you can, Dave, that the chamber has grown immensely and has a strong foundation with the Aboriginal community, and you know, it's still moving farther and farther ahead. So hats off to you, buddy.
Yeah, you know, in the 100th anniversary, and it would be Steve that would want to make sure we capture that 100 years history. Lawrence, which has a great picture of Richard, I mean, in here. Richard, you got your picture in this book. I didn't. Not that I'm whining about that.
Well, you know what? He is whining because walking into the building, he had the book and everything else, and he was showing it off. He said, "I'm not in there, and Richard's in there," and he was just complaining about not being in the book, and he's been staring at your picture, Richard.
I know.
Ever since, and that type of thing. So
he is kind of,
you know,
he's kind of,
and I did remind him that when he was on, it was black and white, the pictures. So, you know, maybe they didn't have a picture of you back then and that type of thing.
Well, Richard said here, he said, "I wanted to be part of the chamber because it showed the integration and inclusiveness of First Nations businesses and business leaders into the provincial business community." He says, because it showed, I'd argue that he actually created that integration.
Yeah.
So yeah, there might have been some work there in the past, but he did a lot.
He was the catalyst.
That's right. He was, so, but it's not like Richard to say, you know, I did this, but he did. He did a lot in a couple of years prior to become president, and then after, through those years. You know, I came coming from Blaine Lakes, where I grew up, and growing up in the Aboriginal community, Mr. Wass's and Muskeg. At the end of my year of presidency, I received the Star Blanket Award from Richard as dedication working with the Aboriginal community, and it actually was here in Prince Albert where I received it at the end of 2007-8, and that was really, really important to me, Richard, that you took the time to do that, because I grew up with Lester LaFond, George LaFond, Ahenakew, just great Aboriginal community people, and to receive that blanket from you, Richard, meant a lot. And something's coming your way in the near future. It'll be a little tease for now. No, it's not my picture in this book. This book's made. It'll be something else. But Richard, thank you for doing that. It meant a lot to me.
Yeah, hats off, Richard. Well-deserved award. I can't think of anybody better. Even these two guys beside me, I think you're a better choice anyway. So just to let you know where you stand in that.
You just saying it.
Yeah.
Of course, you got to walk home.
It was. Yeah, that's right too. 18 years of working with you. It was a lot of fun too, and that, and some of the boards we both sat on and that type of thing. It was a blast, and hats off, brother.
I think I echo what Dave was saying. Richard, you've brought attention to the Aboriginal community, like just over the top. Certainly, you and I have valued our friendships. I certainly valued yours, and I've been a benefactor of your kindness through the Star Blanket as well. And you know, that's a great honor to me. And
two Ukrainians receiving the blanket from our Aboriginal community leader, the Great Heart, is fantastic.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, it's just it's all about you know, us understanding more about your culture, and you've allowed us to enter into that. And I think you know, the Chamber owes you a great level of debt, and I know the Roger Phillips Award is huge, but I think more importantly, you've put the community on the map for the Aboriginal people. So, way to go, bud.
Right on. Love you, buddy.